Hi, this is episode 3 of GitLaw of GitForLaw, and in this we'll start to get serious. Up till now, what we've done is to put materials directly up on GitHub, and that's extremely useful and simple. There's almost nothing to install, not much to learn, but if you want to actually do any transacting, you don't want your stuff up on GitHub, you want it down locally on your machine. And of course, the software community has thought of that. So the easiest way of doing this is to go and get an application called GitHub Desktop, which is here. So desktop.github.com, and you download it for whatever your application is. It'll probably know what your platform is. Of course, I've already done that, so what we'll do is we'll go to GitHub Desktop, which is here, and you'll remember that I've already done many repositories here, so I've got a whole great big list of all kinds of things that are available. But what we're going to do, the simplest way to go get something is to go back to the thing that you want up on the web. So on GitHub, up on the web, and then you go to this green button which says clone or download. This is easiest. Once you've installed the app, it'll know where to go. So you do clone or download, and then open in desktop like this. And then you want to check carefully where it is that it thinks it's going to put this stuff. I don't want it there. I keep all of my GitHub stuff like this. So I keep it all in a folder called GitHub, all of my repositories. So this says where it's coming from, but make sure you pick where it's going to. You can also use the chooser in order to browse. So then I'm going to clone it like that. And then it now knows that I'm working on this. So it will get to go back to this. So we can see we got 0 changed files. We can go see our master branch, our history. Our history, you remember all the things that we've done. So the counter on payment, we had the payment terms, we had the 400 rather than 500, we had the basic first one, and then we had me just setting the thing up. So you've got all these different, this is all the steps, and you'll see it does a pretty good job of redlining things for you as you look at so you can see what was the difference in each one of these things. This, by the way, is a lot easier to deal with than track changes. So then, of course, you can also go see the, you can also go see the actual file. So we can go to the, we can see the files in the Finder, where our files are. We ought to be able to see where the files are. There, sorry, it was just very slow. GitForLaw, so there are our documents. I guess QuickTime is using up a lot of energy. And there's my document. I've got this thing organized, so you can open it up. You're going to want to open it up in a text editor. Among the things that you could use as a text editor is this very powerful tool. You can also use some of the standard tools, but don't use Word or things like that because they'll insist on adding all kinds of formatting stuff that you don't want. So here we go. This is something called Visual Studio, which is the way a lot of coders work, and it will give you all kinds of control. But the point of this is simply that we've managed, we now have a local repository. And so now let's say that we're responding and saying, no, not 60 days. We're only going to give you 50 days. Remember, we had 40 days, 45 days before. So we're going to insist on 50 days, and I'll then save this file like this, save, and then if I go back to GitHub and I look for changes in my GitForLaw repository, it'll show me that. I got to get rid of this thing. It'll show me that, and I can then make a commit. Remember, it's the same thing. So what we've got is payment due days equals 50, not 60, like that. Responding as per our telephone call. Okay, so then I commit. Remember, that's saving like that, and then the system notices that there's a difference between the origin, that is to say the one that's up on GitHub, and this one. So we can now push to the origin like that, pushing to the origin like that. It's now resolving, it's figuring out what's different at the origin versus what's here, and sorting all of that out. So then if we go back to GitHub4Law, we'll see that, and we look at this again, look at GitHub4Law like this, we'll see that the last commit was here. It was a minute ago. It was this change here that we did, and we can of course also see the difference up here. Okay, so that gives you a sense that you can collaborate. Here I'm collaborating with myself, of course, between my local version and the one that's up on GitHub, but this is scalable, essentially without limit. That is, numerous people can collaborate all on the same repository, and we can keep track of all the changes, and we can each work independently, and. It's a very powerful way of collaborating. So, and with that, I will stop.